Okay, let's talk about the Christ consciousness for a moment. Kind of came to my heart just to talk about this because there's been so much. I'm not going to get into any, trying to disprove something or prove one thing. But what I do know from history that there has been some manipulating the understanding of Christ uh, to shape a certain image of him that is, I, I guess I want to say, is a diversion from what it really is. So, like I talk about, is that Jesus is a consciousness, and what I mean by consciousness is something that doesn't have a physical body. It permeates societies. It spreads like a virus, if that is probably a better way to describe how it's supposed to spread and how it's supposed to affect people and change people. So back in the first century, um, some mystics had made contact with this consciousness. They wanted to come into the earth, and it came into the earth through a story. And that story was the story of Jesus, the story of Christ. And in that story, there's certain characteristics that we have to look for and to build the Christ consciousness. Now, you have to ask for this consciousness to come on the inside of you. And Christians know, when we ask Jesus to come into our heart, there's that immediate change that takes place, and that change that takes place is Christ coming into your heart. But it's the Christ light. It is the Christ consciousness. Now, here's the trick. Back then, when you know when the Roman government, like I say, the Roman government got involved in religion, they had to contain the Christ consciousness because the Christ consciousness, like I said, it spreads like a virus. So they had to quarantine with 66 books that they've given us to quarantine the Christ consciousness so it doesn't expand outside of that inside someone's mind or inside someone's heart. So, with the Christ consciousness, you're supposed to ask for it to come into your heart. Upon receiving it, you then begin to read the story. Okay, so once you start to read the story of Christ over and over and over and over and over again, the story is not supposed to tell you what to do. Back in the ancient times, there was no 66 books that told people how to live. No one sat there and took every single word of, Mark's gospel and made a lifestyle of it. Really what it's supposed to be is a lesson in how the Christ consciousness, once one has it, what's going to happen to you when you receive it. People are going to hate you. People are not going to like you because you really want to figure out the truth about everything that exists. That's what the Christ consciousness does. If you study Jesus in his life, he really wanted to crack the code. He did crack the code of Judaism and exposed a lot of the ills of his society. There's a whole social justice side that some people pay attention to, some people don't, where the Christ consciousness really does want justice for all, and it won't stop until true freedom and justice and fairness and liberty is made for every single entity that lives within the geographical location or the country, planet, nation, city, because the Christ consciousness is actually all has been spreading across the universe. So, and we have it here now. You can have it in your life. It is a power that you can receive, and that's why I want to share with you. And once you get it, you just got to read the story of Jesus. And once you read that story, then the Christ consciousness becomes alive in you. Christ is born in you, and then you will start to do the works of Christ, the magic of Christ, and be a light worker or white magic worker or like he was. So that's the Christ consciousness. That's what it does. So once you get the Christ consciousness in your heart, just ask. Once you get it in your heart, you're gonna feel that change. Then you start to read the Gospels, not to try to tell you what to do, but to expand your mind about how you're supposed to change your world.